What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on the East Coast. My name's Adam, and this is Properroyals Live. Thank you for joining us tonight. If we've not met before, this channel is all about my family's journey from ball python hobbyist to ball python business. And every Tuesday night, we hang out here and we geek out about snakes and reptiles. We stay on those kind of topics, and I always have a guest. The guest tonight is Matt. You might know him better as Big E from Ebony and Ivory Reptiles. He's going to be on the show. If you haven't seen him before, he's an awesome dude. I was going to say he's pretty much right at the same place that I am. Actually, I think some of his snakes are even better caliber, but second or third year breeding. But we're going to get to know Matt a little bit better. We'll learn about his channel, what he's got going on, and hang out tonight. He's, like I say, he's a fantastic guy. This week at Properroyals, a busy week. I'm expecting 3 clutches any day. Like one was due yesterday, one's due tomorrow, and one's due Friday. So any minute, I'm pretty pumped about that. So I hope that your egg season is going well and that you're as excited as I am about it. I gotta admit, I'm a little behind. I think that the hints for me to get an ultrasound are getting stronger and stronger. But I got three on the way, 2 in the box already, and hopefully I'll get another 4 or 5 is my real hope. Thanks to all of you in the audience. There's 16 of you to start out with. Let's see where we get to tonight. Thank you all. Gage, I think, is a new name. Gage Johnson, good to see you. And good to see all the usuals. I see Chris from BNS tonight. John out in Colorado. Mainly morphs. Thanks. Keys, what's going up? What's going on from just down the road from me? Down in where are you? You're in Daytona Beach. No, I was thinking DeLand. You're in Daytona. Will, what's happening? Phil, how are you tonight, man? Phil, you'd be so proud of me for my insulation work that I put in the garage this week. Thank you all for being here. There's a ton of you, and thanks everybody for hanging out. You guys know I'm not great with the shout outs, but when I see new faces, I try and say, hey, Simpled, I hope you're having a wonderful day too. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. I like that Dogecoin logo. I don't own any, but I do like the logo. I got a new video coming out on Thursday. I was in, if you've been watching the channel or you watched the show last week, you know, I was down at the Tampa Repticon. I was vending with Dale at Constricted Reptiles and got to film a lot of content. And, of course, I had to pick up some things. So on Thursday, I've got I'm going to tell you about 2 of the things I picked up. I picked up 3. The Thursday video is 2 of them in a new project, and the third the third animal will be in the second video on Sunday. And that is the codom that I bought to pair with as many of my recessive females as possible so that I can have that codom and hets. I'll tell you all about it in the Sunday video. Check that out. Hey, I got to say hey really fast. I got to work my buttons. Yeah, got to say hey to CSJ Designers. They're not the sponsors tonight. I actually don't have a show sponsor tonight. But I'm working with them on a brand awareness package. You'll see them on some of my videos coming up. I figured I got to give them a shout out tonight, right? They're showing me love, doing some business with me, giving me a chance to represent them, and they get a shout out tonight. Check them out on Instagram. Just getting going, really investing in strong snakes and really, really investing in their brand awareness. So 1 click on Instagram, CSJ Designers. Check them out. I appreciate it. Did y'all notice there was a new, a little tweak to the thumbnail on the show tonight? Let me know what you think. I've been working with some different graphic design stuff, both for editing purposes, but also like my Instagram posts, my YouTube thumbnails, and I tweaked the Properroyals Live. I tried to keep it the same so you recognize it, but it's got a little flair to it. Let me know what you think on that. Matt from Ebony and Ivory got to be the test. It's kind of weird to say the guinea pig, right? I don't know. He got to be the test dummy on the new thumbnail. Let me know what you guys think of that. And I want to say thanks to everybody in the audience. Yeah, Kai knows CSJ Designers. I'm telling you, like, It's kind of neat. I'm seeing their names pop up. They're definitely doing the brand awareness thing, and they're not messing around on their investments. I'll tell you that. They're going pretty deep on what they're investing in. So they're definitely worth checking them out. And I know that Kai's been doing some work with them as well. That's CS&J is Constantine, Sean, and Josh. So that's the CSJ up in northern New Jersey. Keys, what's going on tonight, man? I hope that you're doing well out there. Thank you for joining. That's right, Kai. Test dummy equals pioneers. All right. Well, let me see. What else? I don't think I have anything. Oh, I do have something else to announce. I got a really cool guest coming up next week. It's Ty Park from Iguana Land down in Southwest Florida. And he started this reptile park zoo theme park. It's called Iguana Land. Check it out. But they have a huge collection of animals and pretty influential as far as, the reptile hobby. And I'm really interested to hear Ty's take on what's happening regarding USARK, regarding some of the Lacey Act amendments, what the future of the hobby looks like. Plus, I just want to hear a story. Ty has been at it forever. And I'm really thankful to have Ty on. He was kind enough to say yes. And so next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m., Ty Park will be the guest on the Properroyals channel. As always, if you want to help me feed some snakes, some rats, you can do the super chat or the stickers, and I'll be glad to give you a shout out for sure. All super chats or stickers go to the Rat Fund. So thanks for sticking through my welcome. We got 33 people live. Hit that like button if you don't mind, if you enjoy it. And without further ado, welcome for the first time ever to the Properroyal stage. You know him as Big E or Matt from Ebony and Ivory Reptiles. Boom. Matt, thank you for being here, man.
What's happening? What's happening?
I'm excited. I'm excited to have you. I look forward to this show really on a weekly basis. It's kind of a time to cut loose and hang out in a place that I know is safe. Like a safe, fun place where I can just be a geek and nobody worries about it. And I see that joy in your face and your eyes and your videos when you're talking about your animals, when you're hanging out on other live streams. And I was like, man, I got to get Matt on the show. So I'm pumped to have you on, man. Welcome.
Oh man, thank you for having me, man. Like I said, when you asked me, man, I was excited. So yeah, man, I love what we do. I love talking about the hobby. And just love being a part of it, man. So I'm excited to be here, man. So I appreciate it.
Hey, before I forget, because I get excited and I move on, you are active military, active Army, right?
I'm active Army National Guard, yeah.
Army National Guard. Thank you so much. Before I forget, if that gets away, man, sometimes we get excited about some things that maybe matter less. But thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Appreciate
you.
Man.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Tell for anybody that doesn't know you or not familiar with your channel, give us a little rundown. Where can we find you? What do you got going on? And just give us an intro.
Man, like you said before, I'm Big E or AKA Matt from Ebony and Ivory Reptiles. We got a YouTube channel, Ebony and Ivory Reptiles. We've been putting out a video every Thursday for about, I want to say it's been about 6 or 7 weeks consecutive. Before then, it was just sporadic videos going out. So we've been trying to be more consistent with the YouTube stuff with that and doing that and just getting our name out there. Also, you can find us on the Instagram, Ebony and Ivory Reptiles on Instagram, and then just my name on Facebook, which is Matt Legrone. You can find me on Facebook if you want to reach me there. And we specialize in ball pythons, but of course you can see behind me, I got a tegu, I got a bearded dragon,
we got to get into some of those animals. Hey, everybody watching, all those links are down in the description as well. So after the live show, you can always find it in the description, links to Ebony and Ivory channels that you can go check out Matt's content on. So what other animals do you have? So we'll come around to ball pythons. You said you had tegu, bearded dragon. What else you got going on?
Yeah, so I've got a tegu and a beardy right above them, and then I got a leopard hypo Nicaraguan boa. I have 2 tortoises, and I had a leopard gecko, but I gave them to a buddy of mine from my church. I gave them to his son, And then we have a caiman lizard and a retic as well. But we use all those animals primarily for, we do educational shows.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
I got that on the list. Let's come around to that. Where, if I can ask, where are you located? And unless you're where you're not supposed to have it tag you, then you can make up.
Oh, no, it's all good. I'm in Reno, Nevada.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, they don't have many rules there for anything. Reno's just free for all, everything.
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of free for all, man. It's hot in the summer and it's freezing cold in the winter and snowing. So I mean, nothing can live here that's not naturally from here. So no rules.
Yeah, man. This is going to be like kind of boring. I'm not going to stay on it too long for the poor audience, but I was excited. So you were hanging out on Key's show on Friday night, the Hair Down Friday show. And I put it on to listen. I was installing insulation in my attic here in Florida. It's been 96, 97. Tomorrow and Thursday is supposed to get up to 100 where I am. And I got a 20 by 20 garage, and I got a Mr. Cool cooling unit that I installed in the garage. And man, it was working. It was fine, but the inside temps were still getting up to 84, 85, 86, and that's fine for the snakes, but this is my office too. And I was like, this is starting to get a little much. And I broke out the heat gun, and I just temped the ceiling, and the ceiling said 101 the other day. And like, I couldn't sleep that night. I was losing it. Yeah, Phil corrected me. Mini split is the name, the Mr. Cool mini split, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've been looking into getting one of those mini splits. I've been looking at them. Because I'm in the same situation as you pretty much. As far as the garage build goes, I built my whole garage built with the snake room and the rat room connected. And man, it was last week, I think it got up to 95, 96 here. And I happened to be in Sacramento, 2 hours away from here. So I couldn't get back home to the snakes. But man, it was 85, 86 degrees in my snake room. And I like to operate a lot in my snake room and sometimes just sit in here. So I usually keep my room at 75 to 77. Like it does, I don't like it to get higher than there. Right. And so it spiked up that high. And I mean, it's all insulated except for the ceiling. And I didn't realize, I mean, you think heat rises, so you would think the ceiling might be okay. But, you know, it gets hot, man. So I just went and bought some insulation last week. So I just got to install it now. So,
yeah, I highly recommend it, man. It brought the temperature down over 20 degrees. On the hottest part of the day now, it reads 81, but I keep the mini split set at 81.
Okay.
It's at, you see it 77 and a half. It's that's 4 degrees below what it's set at. So it's doing well. The mini split does bring down my humidity a little bit. I think I'm going to get one of those puffer looking things what do they call those?
A humidifier in there?
Yeah, like the mister or it just kind of, you know what I'm saying? It almost looks like steam constantly blowing, but I'll probably get one of those. But obviously, I mean, between Coco, between the tubs and between spraying down if we need to, I think it's fine, especially when it rains. It's been really dry. When it's the afternoon rains in Florida, it's totally fine. But to anybody that's struggling with it, it was hard work. It was 5 hours of hard work to insulate 400 square feet of garage. Instantaneous improvement, man. I know the longevity of that mini split's going to get better. My electric bill is going to get better. And I was joking with Matt before the show. Like, I haven't mentioned to my wife, but I don't think I need a separate room in the garage anymore. I think I could just regulate the garage with that insulation. So I got to see what happens on the winter. It doesn't get as cold here as it does, you know, for sure. It's a little more temperate. But I do want to see what happens through the winter. But if that's the case, I'm not worried about having to expand or anything. After that, it will be nice. I'm excited for that. On the other hand, I got to make sure my spending doesn't get out of hand because the space put a lot of, you know, pump the brakes for me a lot of time. You know, like out of space, can't buy anything more, you know?
Yeah.
So tell me about, I'm always interested in other revenue streams, other, you know, ideally, hopefully one day not having to just kind of feel like any of us are owned by a job clocking in and out, unless we love it. If we love it and we're getting fulfillment and experience out of it, by all means. But just working for a paycheck, so to speak. So tell me about the educational stuff that you do, the birthday parties. Is that all volunteer? Is it do you charge? Is it a revenue stream? What do you do for that?
Yeah, man, it's definitely a revenue stream. So what we've done up here is we partner with this place called the Cat Cafe up here, and it's literally they have a coffee shop, and on the back of the end of the coffee shop in a separate room they have cats where people actually pay to drink coffee with cats. And so they have an upstairs area where they host parties and all this kind of stuff at. So we've linked up with them, and so now they charge us a flat amount to go up there to their upstairs once or twice a month, and we do educational shows up there. We usually do 3 sessions, 3 45-minute sessions or 3 1-hour sessions with the animals, and doing that and birthday parties, man. I mean, we did a birthday party 2 weeks ago with it had to have at least about 20 to 25 kids, not counting the adults. And it's we definitely use it as another income stream.
Yeah.
To help fund, pay for the things that we need as far as the reptiles go, and feed it. I mean, these tegus eat a lot of food, bearded dragons and these insects, because I refuse to breed insects right now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, and it's fun, man. I mean, I just really have a passion, and I fell in love with animals at the reptiles. I mean, all the way back to the age of 7, 8 years old, and so it's good and fun to see kids that age being able to interact with them. And I mean, I've been watching Brian Gundy do it for years, and I mean, like I just try to mimic what he does and make that environment where people can interact and have an experience of a lifetime, man.
Yeah, man, that's really cool. So you rent the space and then charge for admission, essentially?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool, very cool. And how do you get the word? Like, how do you get the word out? Do you have a separate Ebony and Ivory reptile parties, or do you have a separate vehicle for that?
That's what we're focusing on right now. Me and the wife just are going to the drawing board right now to focus on better marketing for it, because right now our primary marketing, at least for the events at that place, is their clientele. I mean, this cat cafe, it's a big thing here in Reno. They love it. I mean, I could never do it, but people are signed up 24/7 to go down there and drink coffee with cats.
I believe it, man, and I'm terribly allergic to cats, so
yeah, me too.
I don't really get it, but I know that people don't get snakes either, so
right, exactly.
That's fine. I can understand that. Yeah, people hit on that. I mean, it's like that goat yoga thing. Like, if you've ever actually seen it, there's no productive yoga going on. You got goats popping all over you, and it's so it's about the experience. And I say that in a wonderful way. Like, congrats to the people that pull that off. So that's cool. Yeah. So the next step is to figure out how to brand it, or to get the word out a little bit better for it.
Yeah, we want to get the word out just a little bit more, and do more birthday parties and things like. I mean, because that's really where a lot of the fun is at, just in the birthday parties, because it's more one-on-one with that party and that select group of people that want to be involved with the animals. So so we're working on the marketing aspect of it right now, making some flyers, so that way we can bring more clientele through the shows, and also get more birthday parties and things of that nature lined up for the summertime.
I think it's great too. Like, the more we could grow the hobby, and I use the expression, the more we can normalize reptiles, the better off all of us are going to be in the hobby. That's fantastic. I think it's cool. I got to think about that. Like, that would be for the people in the audience that don't know, I'm a professional musician. So, I mean, being in front of people and performing doesn't bother me. It's another stage that would be neat. Do you ever, not that we need to go down this rabbit hole, but what concerns or precautions do you have, like a liability release, or like what? Yeah,
for sure. Everybody has to sign the liability release before they touch anything or even come into the show. Because definitely you don't want to be, have anybody try to sue you for anything like that or anything.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, they're great animals, but I'll take a python bite over a cat bite, though. I'll say that too. So.
Yeah, and it's weird because like I said, I've talked to Brian Gundy about it before, and he was like, I've never had anything get or anyone be bitten or anything like at my shows when I do my shows. And it's weird because I'll take the snakes out there to the shows, and their demeanor is completely different once they're out there and they've been out for a few minutes and people are just handling them and stuff versus me digging into their tub in the snake room.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. So I haven't had any issues, man. And we've done 3 or 4 at the Cat Cafe and about 3 or 4 parties too. And I mean, a lot of people have had hands-on with our animals, so we haven't had any issues.
Man, that's cool. That's really cool. I like it. I see there's a local shop that's actually really amazing. Dave Kaufman and Barchak have done some videos at their shop before when they come through town. It's called Extreme Exotics. And I've seen signs. It's like birthday parties, church events, school field trips. And I'm like, maybe I need to figure out how to tap that market a little bit.
That's the next avenue is the schools, man. If I could get the schools to allow me to come into the schools, then it'll be that's where it'll really become a great income revenue.
Yeah. There's a guy named Joe in the audience. I think Kingdom Pythons is the name of it. I believe he's a science teacher, but he's a school teacher, and they breed the ball pythons right in the class. They're breeding, right in the racks, right, incubating in class, everything. Like, we were talking about, trying to figure out maybe is there some content there, and I couldn't quite get around having other people's kids on my show. Like, I didn't know where the line on that stuff was. But man, I'm like, he was commenting right at the start that they had 3 clutches today. I was like, wow, that's nice. Pretty cool. So I know Mark at 403 Fauna keeps ball pythons in his class, but he's not breeding them in class. But this guy Joe is, I think they're full on. Like, they do unboxing videos. Where the money comes from, I don't know. It's probably out of Joe's pocket. But anyway, it's pretty cool. There's some neat opportunities there. I saw some new faces. The topics are going. Prophecy Exotics. I haven't seen you before. Thanks for coming in tonight. I appreciate you hanging out. I hope you enjoy the show. Let me see. I think we've talked about everything but ball pythons. Let's go on to ball pythons, man. Give us some stats. Where are you at on years you've been breeding, number of animals, projects? Give us a rundown. What do you got going on?
We are in our second full year breeding right now, and enjoying every second of it. We have 4 clutches in the incubator right now. The first one is due to hatch on the 29th. Will be day 60. Will be on the 29th.
Of course, you're coming up right away.
Yeah. So, and then I've got 1 female that just pre-lay shed yesterday, and then I've got 4 more that are in blue for their pre-lay shed. And then I still have 2 more girls that are breeding right now. So hopefully we should be around 11 to 12 clutches if we hit them all this year. So it should be exciting, man.
We're on exactly the same stats. I've bred 13 total. 1 I'm sure is not going. I got 2 in the box, but 3 due this week to lay. And then same kind of process. Couple 1 still breeding. Couple either ovulating or just about to ovulate, and then a couple that have gone through the pre-lay. So, man, best to you on that. So, you think you get up to 11 or 12, hopefully?
Yeah, we're hoping for 11 or 12, man, at least this year. And then we'll see where we go next year from that, because I would like to stay somewhere around there, 12 to 15 clutches a year for a few years, and I think that would be good for us because I work a full-time job, the wife works a full-time job, and it gets to be a lot for sure.
I know. Hey, I got to hit pause for 1 second. Holy cow, Joe! I wasn't fishing for that kind of cash. Fantastic, man. Cheers to your kids in the class. Tell them that I said hey, and I'm gonna figure out some kind of cool way to do something with you. Maybe not a show. Maybe we'll do a video. Maybe we'll do something. But I think it's cool what you're doing. Joe is the one that is breeding the ball pythons in class.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
So, Joe, thank you for the kindness. That will go straight to the pythons, man. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you, man. All right, so let's pick up there because that was important. You were saying 12 to 15 for the next couple of years is your number. What goes into formulating that for you? Why is that an important target for you?
12 to 15 is an important target for us, I think, because we have a lot of females growing up right now that we invested pretty heavy this last year.
Yeah, you got some nice stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm picking up a girl tomorrow that's Oh man, I'll let you guys know first, but because I haven't told anybody. But we just invested in a stranger project last night.
Whoa, you didn't mess around. Holy cow.
Yeah. And so
wow.
we've got a 900-gram female coming in, stranger clown girl tomorrow.
You got a stranger clown female 900-gram?
900 grams, yeah.
That's like a year of college, man. Holy cow. All right.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah, it was definitely a year of college for sure. So we want to stay around 12 to 15 because because the females we have growing up, we would have, the stranger clown girl, the hypo clown head desert ghost girl, the desert ghost head clown females that we have. We're mainly focusing on that desert ghost clown project. And so as we next year, as some of those girls become ready, I more than likely won't breed like my 2 head pied females and/or my big head clown girl, depending on what the season is looking like. Only because I just don't want to overwhelm myself, but also because we just really want to focus on higher end projects if we can, because we don't really have a lot of space, so we got to work with the space we got.
Yeah. It's something that we talk about a lot on the show is figuring out what resources you have and how to best utilize them. And yeah, I mean, you're maximizing some space if you're putting female strangers in one of those boxes.
Right. Yeah.
Sure. But then you said you have a couple het females as well. Mm-hmm. Will there be a time that you recycle? That sounds really impersonal when it comes to an animal, but when you move them along to another breeder or to a pet situation, because they gotta just from an actuarial standpoint, numbers standpoint, they got a lesser value of what they could possibly produce versus something like man, I can't believe I'm saying it, a female stranger.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely. Well, one of my het pied girls, I am already letting go to a guy here in town. As soon as I see what comes out of her clutch, if she has some stuff that comes out of her clutch that I'm good with, then because she was paired to my Orange Dream Yellow Belly Fire pied male. So as soon as we see what comes out of there, then we'll be good to let her go. But she's just an awesome breeder, and she gives us 8 eggs, both for the back-to-back years. And the only one that I probably won't let go of the head is that cat clown girl, because she's 2,600 grams, and she gave us 11 perfect eggs this year. So, yeah, I mean, you can't really, it's hard to come by an 11 egg laying female.
Yeah, and if you're not full, then there's no reason to move them on because they'll pay for themselves and raise money and make cool things. They're still het for the gene. So, I mean, it's still in there to get what you want out of it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the time where you're full and you got to make the choices, then comes the challenge there. Justin, thank you so much. I think you're new to the channel too, man. That's a way to make a splash when you're first time in. Maybe not your first time if I haven't seen you, but thank you very, very much. That will go to the rat fund. I gotta order from Cold Blooded Cafe after the show tonight. I need to get that.
That's my mentor right there. That's my guy.
Justin is?
Yeah, Justin Thomas. Yeah, from Armless Angels.
I swear I have. It doesn't pick up my white writing very well.
Yeah.
Right? The topic is mentorship because I hear you talk about them a bit. So, all right, Justin, stick around. We're gonna talk about mentorship and ball pythons here in a little bit once we get through this topic. How many clutches did you have last year?
Last year we had 2. We had what do we have? A spot nose clown to a Mojave hypo female to make some double heads. And we also had my Inchy Fire Desert Ghost het clown, possible het hypo male to a pastel het clown female. Those were the 2 clutches we had last year.
Man, and so again, we mirror each other. I had 2 clutches myself. I got 15 hatchlings last year. And I remember with 15 hatchlings, not 15 clutches, 15 hatchlings, there was a day where I was like, I felt like I was a new dad again. I was like, and they poo, and I just cleaned that, and I'm tired because I got up early and I got to go to work. And now I got to go to the store and I got to get more.
Right.
And so it took me a little bit to go like, all right, this is where, and by the way, guys, I'm flattered, absolutely humbled. Phil, thank you for the 20 spot as well. Holy smokes, man. That's going to help. As much as I like Cold Blooded Cafe, they ain't cheap. I do think that they're the best, and they're not advertising partners whatsoever, but anyway, they're who I use. Thank you guys so much. That's awesome. Yeah, there was a point where I was like, all right, Adam, you got to figure out some efficiencies. You got to figure out processes. This is how it's got to get done. Like, that's when I started running my snakes like I ran kitchens. There's a way that you can feed 500 people, but it ain't by spoon feeding each 500 of them. You got to prep in batches. You got to clean the dishes in batches. You got to order in bulk ahead of time. You can't go to the store for each meal. That ain't going to cut it.
Yeah.
And that's when I really was like, all right. That's when I don't know if you've seen one of the things that the people like my channel for is the great big sink that I have a commercial sink.
Oh, yeah, I see that sink.
Yeah, I had my commercial dish pit in here so that I don't have to sit there with spray bottles by hand cleaning. I just there, off I go. I bought extra tubs so that I can clean 5 at a time, assembly line style. Line 5. Cocoa 5, water 5, slap the labels on 5, and then boom, 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 and move them, and then wash 5. So that's when I got pretty serious about it. So I'm excited to see like if I feel like it's more feasible this year, or if it's like a whole new hurdle at, I don't know, I'll land somewhere between 8 and 12 clutches. And so I'm interested to see what I feel like when it comes this year. I'll be interested in hearing from you. I'm gonna message you in like September and be like, how much sleep are we getting, man?
I know. I just have to order what I ordered, 36 Freedom Breeder FB5 tubs, the small ones for the little hatchling tubs. So that way I can have more room in my sea serpent rack, because I have the V18s, and so those only slide 2 in there, so you can replace them with 3 FB5. So, I need the space, and there's going to be a lot of hatchlings coming, man.
Yeah, I'm right on the cusp. I'm waiting to see how many eggs I get, because I might need to build another hatchling rack. So my adults stay in ARS racks, but my hatchling racks, there's going to be so many. I still haven't. A, the money is one thing, but B, like the hatchlings need a little less. I don't know. I feel like I could build the racks just fine for the hatchlings and pretty quickly. So I'm waiting to see how many eggs I get. I might have to, like, on short notice, build another hatchling rack, but that'll be my 5th rack that I've built. So I kind of got it down now. I'll knock it out if I need to. So we'll see on that. But yeah, what did you find? How did you feel on your first year of those 2 clutches of getting that into the rhythm?
Oh man, it was tough. It was that, just getting it. I ran out of rats at one point because you don't realize how much hatchlings eat and how, just accounting for those extra. I only had 11 eggs, so yeah, those 11 extra mouths that are going to eat, every 5 to 7 days, and they want to eat, and they're when they eat, they're not allowing those babies to grow up to be able to feed your bigger rat or your bigger snake. So I had to increase my breeding because I ran out of rats. So I had to, hold back some more rats and increase the breeding. But other than that, it went fairly well. I didn't have very many issues. We lost one, but other than that, it was a good year. It was a good first breeding year.
I think some of it too. I was watching your first egg cutting video. Yeah. And something that I was able to empathize with in the video. Like, now I kind of know, like, there's not a whole lot that can go wrong. Don't cut the snake, cut the egg, but otherwise we're fine. Right. But the first time when we're doing it, we're worried that everything can go wrong. We're worried we're going to do something wrong. And it was like that for like 30 or 60 days. Like, okay, now what's the next step I do? Okay, I'm waiting there for 9 days. Is it going to shed? Okay. Right. All right. Thank God it shed. And then I had I had 2 or 3 that just wouldn't eat. I had to learn how to assist feed, and like,
Yeah, we had one.
Yeah, I don't have a local mentor, so I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm calling people, and they're like, "Yeah, just you just push it in the mouth." I'm like, I don't know how to open a snake's mouth, man. I don't know. But now you know that stuff, but it was just like I say, when I was watching your video, it's like, oh yeah, like we were terrified that everything that we were gonna do was wrong, and we'd worked and dreamt for like years to get to these eggs right here, this moment, so anyhow, that really came through, and I was like, this is cool. When I was doing my show prep, I was like, all right, yeah, I get it, man.
Yeah, it's wild, because even now, like I always tell people, last year when I had those clutches and I put them in an incubator, I watched them every single day. I watched that clutch, or those 2 clutches, and I just stared at them at night. Like, wife would be like, come to bed, and I'm literally laying in the hallway on the floor staring at the incubator, just watching eggs. And so, but now this year, I mean, I put them in there. I don't bother them. I'm just, I'm just, the only time I open up that incubator is when it's time to put another clutch in there. So I
don't open it. Mine's right there. I'm looking at it. A funny story on mine last year. I didn't know any better and didn't think of it. The little shoebox tubs that I bought were off of Amazon, and they're some no-name brand because they were like 80 cents a piece. So I was like, that's a good deal. I'll buy those. They weren't clear. They were opaque. I couldn't see into the boxes. And I didn't even think about it until they were already in the incubator.
Right.
And I was like, and I see so many eggs with bacteria and mold growing on them and spoiling. And from my food service knowledge, I know that exposure to air and touching things is where the bacterial transfer. I mean, that's cross-contamination.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not going to open. There's nothing good that I can do to open them unless I smell it. Like every now and again, I'd like stick my nose in real fast, be like, okay, I didn't smell anything. But when the day come to cut them, I was like, I hadn't seen inside that egg box in 58 days. I waited the 58 days. I hadn't seen it 58 days. And I remember just being like, they look okay. Like I was like talking to my wife, like I just bathed my infant son or something. Like, he's okay.
Right.
So what's your big your big target this year from your pairings? What are you hoping for? What's your like big dream come true that you might be able to make?
Honestly,
like what's your like flex moment? Like what's your like, oh yeah, by the way, maybe I got this going.
It's that same male that DG, so it's NG Fire DG Het Clown male. Right now, the last 2 females he's been bred to are just a regular clown female, but he's also being bred to an orange dream, yellow belly Het Clown female. And if I can hit an inchy orange dream, yellow belly fire clown that's Het Desert Ghost, I'll be over the moon.
Yeah, that would be great. And those 4 together, such amazing combo. They like whether it's in pied, whether it's just by itself. I bet an ultra male that'd be a ridiculous combo. Like those 4 work together really, really well, man. So even with all the firepower you got invested, no potential double recessives this year.
The only chance I had at a double recessive this year was with that male being bred to a double head DG Clown female, which is the female of my mentor, Justin Thomas. So we were doing a joint pairing. Cool. She ended up getting all the way up to about 25 millimeter follicles and then reabsorbed.
Wow.
Yeah, so that one hurt bad. That hurt the soul bad. But we're gonna try it again one more time this year coming up, and I'm sure she'll go this year. She's back eating again and putting on weight and getting ready because she just went off food and reabsorbed everything and stopped eating and everything. So, but she finally started eating again about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, probably, like consistently. And once she gets that weight back on, I'm sure next year she'll be ready. I think this year she was just in that first one, she just decided to reabsorb it, and
Yeah, I just had I don't have an ultrasound. I want to talk about that too. I got that on the docket. I don't have an ultrasound, but my big 2,800 gram het cryptic girl that I know she would give me a huge number of eggs. Like, I've been breeding her 2 seasons now with a clown, and I'm starting to wonder if it's the clown that's the problem rather than her, because she was huge, bull wrapping, and what I thought she ovulated. I mean, that's how big she got. And man, the other night, 2 weeks ago and 2 weeks in a row now, she's taken a rat and stopped the perfect coiling and all that. And I'm like, ugh. Yeah. Another year. So anyway, I hear you talking about follicle measurements. So tell me about your experience with ultrasound. Obviously, I'm going to guess that you recommend it, that you're probably not doing it just for kicks. What's your experience with the ultrasound, Ben?
I love the ultrasound. It definitely helps me out. Only because I just personally can't. I can't feel a follicle unless it's like.
I can't either.
Like 18 to 20 some inches or 20 some millimeters already. Like I can't feel it in there. And so it works for me. It works perfect. The only thing I kind of wish I did was the one that everybody talks about, the foot pedal. I wish I had taken the extra money and got that one, because it would have been easier to do it on my own. Because when I don't have my wife in here to do it with me, trying to hold down with one hand is kind of hard sometimes. But I love the ultrasound, and it for my males, like that DG male. I tried to put him to. He went to 6 girls this year, and one of them only 4 of them I think are going to end up going. The other 2 the double head girl's not, and I don't think the leopard clown girl is going to end up going as well. But the other 4 are all going, but I didn't start breeding them to them until I saw follicle growth in them. So
yeah. So you're able to hold back the boy.
Yeah.
So of your possible 12 clutches you're going to have, how many females did you breed though? Like, I'm trying to figure out what percentage you think are going to go, because I can't figure out if I'm just up against Mother Nature, or if I'm screwing it up.
So I bred that. So that girl and that girl are the only and that girl. So I would have bred 15.
15. Okay, so you're still aiming for a pretty high success rate then, 75% or so. See, last year, I moved in the middle of breeding season last year, so only 2 out of 4 of mine went, but I didn't know if I'm doing something wrong or moving, or that's just the rate that they go at. I pray I'm above 50% this year, but yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to buy an ultrasound this fall before next breeding season comes around. How tough or easy did you find it every time I look at one of those screens where somebody's explaining it, man, it just looks like a rainy night in London, man. I don't know what I'm looking at on there.
Right.
I just made that up, but that's actually not bad. I don't know what I'm looking at on that thing. How long did it take you? Were you able to figure out pretty quick what you were looking for?
Yeah, a little. Of course, I learned to never do it after they've eaten. It's best to do it after they've defecated, for sure.
Yeah.
Because there's all kinds of stuff in there, and you can't even see the follicles half the time when they have stuff inside of them.
Yeah. So it's a day or 2 before feeding day. So if I feed on Sunday, you're ultrasounding on Fridays or Saturdays.
Yeah, and I try to do it once a month on all my females to just check and see where they are at. But it took some getting used to, for sure, because you definitely don't know what you're doing. And it's very true when people say, people mistake the gallbladder, because I did. It was just a dark black circle.
That I saw, a big black circle, right? Yeah.
So people mistake that. I did it, and so it just takes some learning. The only person I know, other than the guys that's been doing it for years, is if you ever watch. I know you've watched him because he was on your Gershon. If you ever watch GP Snakes do the ultrasound, I swear, I don't know if he has already mapped it out and where he's going to go, but he just places his there and he sees follicles. I feel like I got to go from the head of the snake all the way down in order to find some follicles sometimes, man. So it's crazy.
Man, Gershon's awesome. If you guys don't know who we're talking about, check out GP Snakes. He does so much for this area of the community of people starting out and building brands and reputations and all of that. Man, he does so much. Man, we're at 52 people watching. Thank you all in the audience. I appreciate it. I can't see the stats, but if you're enjoying it, please hit a like. Consider subscribing. We do it every Tuesday night. 52 is, man, that's great. So, yeah, Gershon is fantastic, man. And he's just the nicest dude too, man. I mean, he knows his stuff, but he's so down to earth, man. I think the world of him. I was just thinking about him today because I was like, man, I might need to he's only been on once. We've done some other like collaboration videos where we kind of talk through different topics, but definitely want to try and get him on. Antoine in the house. Hi, Desert Pythons. How are you, brother? Thank you for being here, man.
That's my other guy right there, man. Me and Antoine talk all the time right there. I'm in his Patreon, and that guy, yeah, he's a good guy.
No, he's been good. We talk every now and again. It's for a different show. There was a funny story one time, but no, he's always been a good dude to me for sure, and certainly knows his stuff, man. I'm happy to see him stop by. That's for sure. Thanks for saying hey, Anton. Ultrasound. So tell me about Justin as your mentor. I'm only using his first name because he was here in the audience and said hello. He was very kind with a generous contribution to the Rat Fund. How did that come about? Tell me about your experience with mentorships. You talk a lot about them in your videos, or mention mentorship a lot in your videos.
Oh yeah. I'll always be one of those guys that my pops always taught us, give your flowers before they die. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've always paid respects to people that have helped me, along the way. But it happened. It happened on a happenstance that I actually bought a Rottweiler from his uncle, and his uncle's they lives out there where he's at, and I bought a Rottweiler from his uncle and got it shipped out, and so me and his uncle became Facebook friends, and one day that's when I had just got back into the hobby, and I had bought a pied and my pied female, my pastel head crown female, my het pied female, and his uncle saw me post the pictures and was like, hey man, my nephew got them same kind of snakes. I'm gonna link y'all up. And so he gave me his number, and I mean, that was 2000, I want to say early 2020, like very early 2020, like January, February timeframe or something like that. And man, it's just been history ever since, man. I mean, from the first phone call, he's never, he's always been there, whatever questions I have, helping me out. So, man,
that's great. Does he lives in the area there with you?
No, he's out there where his uncle. They're on the east or south, in the south. So.
Okay, I got you. There was a, it's funny. I make more friends, acquaintances, and find more mentor-like associates and colleagues way away from where I live. Here locally, like I don't really know anybody. There's one person that I've done a breeding project with, and they're great. They live on the other side of town. And it's funny because there's people I've seen on Instagram, and I'm like, man, you're here in Jacksonville, and we try to make connections, but it's like, it's kind of weird having somebody actually to where your animals are and in your home that you don't really know up front, it's safer to be open with distant strangers rather than local ones, but I bring it up because I'm at a point now where I can't really go out of town or go on vacation for more than 3, 4, 5 days, and that would really be pushing it. It'd be a super mess when I get back. Plus it's so hot. I don't know about fresh water and that. And so I've been thinking about either trying to take on a mentor that I could, or I could help mentor somebody that then could help me, and I could help them vice versa when they're out of town or when I'm out of town, and I'd be happy to pay them or whatever I would need to. But I haven't, that's one piece that I'm interested in figuring out because I'm lucky that life is good enough where, I do this, I do professional music, and I do some restaurant consulting, but my days of operating restaurants full time year round, burning that out like I did for the past 25 years, those are behind me. And I want to enjoy some life too, man. Like I want to, I want to sell some snakes. I want to go on vacation, and
yeah.
So by next summer, I've got a plan to put some of the revenue this year aside for vacation, and next summer I'm going to go to New England with my family, and but I want to have somebody that I need to take care of the snakes, and that they need to know what they're doing too, because summertime is go time. Like that's going to be a big leap, leaving those snakes for 10 or 14 days or whatever I want to do. So I didn't know if that's something you'd gotten into yet. Where are you guys at on that?
I definitely, I mean, at a max, I think we've left for 4 days, 5 days. Luckily, one of my soldiers who house sits for us when we're gone, I basically though just tell her to come in, check the temperatures and make sure the temperatures on all the thermostats read what I told you they need to read, and then get out of there. Don't touch nothing.
Don't do anything. Don't touch it.
Don't do nothing. Peek your head in there, make sure the rats is good, and nobody's in there running around and escape. But other than that, because I have big water reservoirs on my rat.
For the rats, yeah. For
the rats, because so I went and got the 5-gallon buckets, and so it easily lasts them 4 or 5 days. And
right.
So I just, I tell her, make sure everything is good. But as far as temperature goes, but because I mean, this is, if I'm honest with myself, at some point I want this to be like a major part of my livelihood. So
right.
It's very, it's hard to trust anybody with it. It's hard to bring anybody into the room or that I'm not okay with or cool with, or definitely to let somebody watch it. It's hard,
Yeah, and I'm still really under the radar. Like nobody around here knows that I got 50 snakes sitting right there. Like that's a challenging conversation too with strangers. We just moved here. Well, it's right at a year now. So it's not anything that I hide, and I've got my license to sell and display and all that. I'm totally legal in Florida and everything. But I haven't quite crossed that bridge yet on how I'm gonna figure that out. So yeah, my wife and I now like she and my son are going on vacation on Friday next week. And then when they get back in the middle of July, I'm going to go out to Colorado for a week. But like, we're a family. Like I want to go on vacation with my family,
Right.
So I'm working through that. But I think a mentor relationship would assist on that, especially somebody local. Like one thing I've loved, and I don't know if you found this or not yet on your or in your experience on YouTube, but one thing I've loved about YouTube and this show in particular is that I can bring people on that I learned so much from. And I mean, most of them know more than me and have way more experience than me anyhow. But even the ones that don't have something that I'm not doing that they're doing that I go, that's cool. That gives me inspiration. Something, like the birthday party streams that we're talking about. I'm like, there's got to be something there. I live in a town of 1 million people, man. Somebody somewhere wants to party with some snakes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's why I love this stuff. So where can people does Justin have any presence on social media or Instagram or things we could follow him on?
He's on Instagram and he's on Facebook. I keep trying to get him to make a YouTube channel, but I don't think he's gonna make no YouTube channel. But I don't think he's gonna do that. But he definitely is on Instagram. I keep trying to get him, post up on there because man, he's got some crazy stuff coming this year. So he's got some exciting stuff. Working with some chocolate and cypress stuff together, and I mean, he's got some wild clutches coming here.
How, if you want to share, if you don't want to share, that's okay. How did you guys sort out the tentative plans? Should there have been a clutch? What would the split have been? How would you all have? Is it like an old school game of kickball? Like I'm a captain, I picked that one, or how is that going to go?
Yeah, pretty much it was just going to be, since the male that I have is the more the one bringing the majority to the clutch, then I would get the first pick, and we flop back and forth. And if it was an odd number, then we would split that one. As far as the revenue or the income that we would get from that last one, we would split it.
Yeah, the last one you're probably the last one's probably not a holdback anyway, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I did a swap out. We swapped males. So instead of one person have the male and one have the female, we swapped males for 6 or 8 weeks kind of deal. And we basically said, look, we've never done this before, so don't really know how it's going to work out. What if one of us gets a clutch, but the other doesn't? And they were good people, and I had something they wanted, and they had something that was going to move me forward. So it was kind of a real handshake deal of like, look, if it works out, let's just make sure that we take care of each other and that we're honest kind of thing. But we ended up, they only had one viable egg. I wasn't going to hold them to the fire on splitting one egg. That wasn't going to work. And mine, I've just now gotten eggs on, but their male was the very first one that I bred my females to, like early. So I doubt it. I think I jumped the gun. When you get excited at the beginning of breeding season, and then I'm like, oh man, here's this male that I don't have, and I can get it. So I don't think it would have gone. So I'm just curious how people work those in those situations on that.
Yeah, I definitely don't encourage it with someone that you don't trust or have a relationship with, because it can definitely go sideways real fast. But he and I mean, like I said, we've been rocking together since early 2020, and yes, and that female. So I mean, she's been over here with me. I want to say almost a year. I would say she's been over here because she was supposed to breed there. Because when he sent her, she wasn't even that weight yet. She was at about 1,100 grams, and then I got her up to size, and then we tried to pair her, and that didn't work. So hopefully this year, though, but she owes us, so I'm sure she'll give us at least 2 visuals next year if she owes us.
There you go. Yeah, she's just stocking up the good ones. She didn't waste her time with possible hets this year.
Right. Yeah.
Now, these breeders they found me on Morph Market, but they looked to buy local, so they didn't have to ship. And they asked. Then they saw that I was on YouTube, and they said, "Oh man, could we check out what you have going on?" And I was like, "You know what? I got security cameras. If you'll show your ID next to your face on the security camera, you can come in the house." But that's the deal. And they were real cool, and really, it kind of clicked. They were great with my son. They have cool animals, so we just did that one-off trade for about 6 or 8 weeks of pairings. And I don't think I would do it again, but not because of the people, but just it didn't work out, and it wasn't what I was looking for. And then again, there was this uncertainty of like, how are we going to make all this work and what's going to work out on it? So I don't think it's for me, but it's one of those things that maybe we do very early off that we wouldn't normally do, like, I don't know if I should buy this snake from that breeder, but it's early on. I got to get something going. I'm going to buy it now. There's things I wouldn't do now that I did in the past. So, and nothing unethical, just risks, unnecessary risks that in retrospect I wouldn't do again. Sorry. And what's Justin's? I know Justin's name is Justin. Does he have like a
name? Yeah,
what's that?
Armless Angels.
Armless Angels.
Armless Angels. Yeah,
that's great. I like that. That's cool. I'm typing it up here in the comments. Guys, check out Justin, and I'm gonna go see what he's got going on Instagram as well. I promised I wouldn't forget, and I forgot. I promised myself I wouldn't forget. What's up, Mike? Welcome. That's Herp Collectors.
Oh, my guy, Mike. What's up, Mike?
Mike is not far, not just down the road, but Gainesville ain't very far from me. That's where I went to school. He's just outside of Gainesville, Florida.
Okay.
Guys, if you guys want to check out some really great business and brand presentation, Mike is fantastic on that stuff. He's got a great channel. Somebody asked earlier, and I apologize for forgetting now who it was. I went to write it down, but I only got the question. What's your favorite recessive? What do you? Somebody asked what your favorite recessive was.
Definitely clown.
Definitely clown. Okay.
Yeah, clown and desert ghost. Those two are my favorite. But by itself as a recessive, it's clown hands down.
So what's your feeling on? And I don't. I don't know that I believe this, but just playing devil's advocate. What's your feeling on the clown market, man? Clowns have been hot for a long time, man. What's the longevity? What's the future that you see with clowns?
I don't see it. I mean, there's always new combos and new genes coming out, and so many. I mean, my guy, my other buddy, and somewhat like a mentor as well, Joey Cassar. He was here in Reno, Nevada with me, but he just moved over there where you guys is at, over there on the East Coast. But he just produced some clowns today that had the whole internet going crazy. Or what was it? Yesterday he produced them, but the whole Facebook and Instagram has been going crazy. He's over at a Morph Depot.
What did he make?
He doesn't even know. I don't even know. Apparently, there's he had got a I don't even want to butcher it, but he got some combo clown male that he bred to a head clown female. But the combo clown male that he got it from, I guess the guy has a lot of cosmos in his his collection, and so that popped up in the clowns, and he made 2 of them, and they're ridiculous. And yeah, they look amazing. So I don't see clown going anywhere, especially when people are starting to stack a lot of recessives on top of them. Like Antoine said, it's a whole lot of untapped stuff, man. I mean, you start putting ultra male on top of clown, then you can put desert ghost on top of clown, and hypo on top of clown, and desert ghost on top of the hypo, and the pied, and desert ghost on top of clown is not going nowhere. I think clown is like the staple recessive gene, and we're never going to hit all the combos that we can in just clown alone. And now people are just stacking all these different codoms and recessives on top of it. So it's crazy.
I happen to agree with you both in what I enjoy and what I've invested in. If you were to look at a rundown of my collection, I happen to agree with you. But it's something that I think about because we could get too comfortable if we don't ask ourselves that stuff, So I like clowns for how distinctive they look. And one thing that I'm really loving that I'm starting to find now is that there's combos that people are making that actually look, as crazy as this sounds, that to be valuable to me, that look a little bit less like clowns. Like Acid and Clown doesn't have that straight back to it that I thought every clown had. I thought Kryptons were really cool because they break that up a little bit. And clearly they're not clowns, they're Kryptons. That's why it's broken up. I got Antoine messaging me here. Now it's just to distract. Now, oh, he sent me a photo of what we're talking about. Oh yeah, we don't even know what that is.
Huh. Oh, so you're talking about the one that Joey made?
Yeah, he just sent it over to me. Thank you, Antoine.
It's insane. It's insane, man.
Man, that's great. Yeah. But so I think that I got to agree. I think it's still untapped. I think it's different from, say, Pied, which I adore. Like, I can't get over Pied. Like, I know that it's kind of played out. I know that it's limited because even the most crazy Pieds still just look like a Pied. So I get that, but I love them. But I don't think that's the case for clowns. I think, like, even the pattern on this thing that we're talking about, if you didn't see its head, that doesn't necessarily just scream clown. Right. So that variety within one project is really fantastic. Let's see. The Ball Python project says, looks like Fire, Red Stripe, Batman Plus.
Yeah.
You cover a lot of ground with that plus word.
Plus a whole bunch of, I don't even know, man. I hit him up today. We was talking on Messenger, and he was like, man, this thing is crazy. Like, because he made 2 of them, and one has pastel. And he was like, man, I didn't think the pastel one was going to make it. And it did. And so we was talking. But, I mean, the dude, I'm like, man, he's killing it. He's killing it, man. That's my guy. I remember when he was here living where I'm at. He didn't even have a clown, up to about a year and a half ago. He didn't even have clowns. He didn't like them. And he was like, okay, dude, I mean, you convinced me to get into the clown game. And since and he invested in it hard, and now he's hitting major stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I've got a good foundation of recessives and females. I actually just bought that video on Sunday. I just bought an acid male to breed through my female recessives to get those started, but also from a business standpoint to raise some funds as well. But I'm excited to work that into a lot of different combos. There's not a whole lot that's been done yet with acid, but the clowns are sweet, man. I'm really excited about that. I was working with Dale at Constricted Reptiles, and the stuff he's doing, I was like, Dale, did you bring any of that? He's like, no, I didn't bring that. And I was like, why?
Yeah, no, I love the acid gene, man. That's one of my favorite genes. And I have a acid banana pinstripe male that bred to my leopard clown female this year, and she's going into her prelay shed right now. And so I'm hoping to hit some really nice stuff to hold back and to, help fund everything that I've been spending all this money on.
That will be a heavy hitter, man. I hope you hit those. Gee, yeah. Acid with leopard is one of the best things I've seen, but I'll tell you, acid with pinstripe brought some new life back into the pinstripe project too, man. That's a cool combo. So yeah, I've got mine will go, actually I've got an acid that'll go to a pinstripe ultramel girl this coming season. And then I'm going to breed them into my candy project. I got to think the purples from an acid coming through on a candy eventually would be amazing to hit a visual candy when the time comes.
Yeah.
And
what's the name has some?
Who's that?
Josh Jensen.
Oh, Josh. Yeah.
I
haven't seen it in the candy. Does he? I got to look at that.
He has some candy acid. And it's really nice. Oh yes. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. And then, like you were saying, I mean, just the layers of what you could do with the recessives on top is so cool. I got to tell you, I was in my video today, I was talking about it at that Tampa Repticon. I was really, really impressed with what people are doing with hypo as like the finishing touch on top of things. And I remember I bought my visual hypo girl for, I don't know, not much more than I would have paid for an Enchi at the time. I mean, this was 2 years ago, right? Early on for me. I'm really glad that I have her. I was really impressed to see Steve Casino over Steve's Morphs, what he's got going on with just hypo on the top. I was like, man, that is cool. So I ended up picking up 2 more hypos that are pretty well, not hugely stacked, but pretty well stacked on some codoms as well from that show. Standing there working all weekend staring at them, I was like, Dale, give me those 2, man. I'll take it.
You put it on top of Desert Ghost and or even the Hypo Desert Ghost Crown, or the Hypo Pieds or anything. I mean, it just adds a nice, like a Krispy Kreme glazed donut type feel to everything.
It does, man. I say it's the sauce that goes on at the end, man, of the dish, man. It's really fantastic. Guys in the audience, so tell us what you want to hear and what you want to know from me and Matt. If you're just joining us, that's Matt, also known as Big E from Ebony and Ivory Reptiles. We're still hanging right around 50 people. We got 46 watching now. Those of y'all just joining, next week I'll have Ty Park on the show from Iguana Land down in Southwest Florida. We're going to talk about his animal park, what he's got going on, what he sees in the hobby. And I know with the number of animals that he owns, he is incredibly tied into the legalities and the challenges that we're facing, especially here in Florida. Man, I lose sleep over living in Florida right now. So anyhow, next week, Ty Park will be on the show. I'm real excited for that. Let's see. Charlie over at Reagan Renee Royal Python says, I know I saw his acid Candino. Is it pure candy yet? Do you know if it's Candino or candy?
Oh, you know what? He might be right. They might be right. Yeah. I think it is Candino.
Okay,
right.
Still Candino.
I think it is Candino.
Yeah, Charlie's making candy pieds, which let me get some revenue flowing through my hands. I'll be calling Charlie. Let me tell you. I love candy. I got a female candy that I love it, man. So what topics? Anything I didn't cover that you want to go on or go after tonight?
I mean, whatever you got to ask, I'm all game for. I don't,
I missed, one thing we jumped right over at the beginning. How did you get into all of this? I mean, you said, you got tegu behind you, you got a bearded dragon. I see you had 3, 4, 5 other species along with ball pythons and tortoises. What started that, and how's that work at home with family and all that too?
What started it? Like I said, man, I've been in love with reptiles since the age of 7, 8 years old. I used to have my parents just take me to the pet store, to the reptile store. There's this place called Mike's Fish and Pet Aquarium, or Fish Aquarium and Pets down in San Diego, where I grew up at. And we used to go there and just hang out all day. And he had all kinds of, exotic animals and fish and stuff. And then I grew up, I got some iguanas when I was younger. We had a ball python. Then we had, I got to college, I got kicked out of the dorm room because I had ball pythons in my dorm. Then me and my brother, we had ball pythons, iguanas, carpet pythons, fish. We basically had a zoo in our apartment, in our 2-bedroom apartment in college. And people would just come and check out our spot because we had all kinds of animals, bearded dragons, all kinds of stuff. And so I've just always been in love with reptiles, man. It's truly a passion. And I've always liked them. I had a passion for them, learning about them, and because they're different, and so it's not just your dog or cat. And so
I
always had a passion, man. My family now, my wife, the Cayman lizard is hers. That's in the house. She does have a beautiful Cayman lizard. She has a dwarf retic that she got from Reach Out Reptiles, and then she has what else? She just has those two. And then the 2 tortoises, they're for the shows, but they're my 2 youngest kids. And they all help out, man. My wife takes care of her lizard and her snake all by herself. I don't do anything but feed them on feeding night, or for the snake at least. But they help out, man. We do the shows together. It's not just me. My wife is at the shows too.
Cool.
And she is the Ivory and Ebony and Ivory Reptiles. So
right, yeah, I should have brought that up. That's right. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, my wife is not 100% hands-on, but like when I was at the show in Tampa, Repticon, she pulled the eggs and put them in the box. Like she handled that, and I was like, I'm like texting her. I'm like, don't worry about giving her a bath. She's like, oh, I'm not giving her a bath, but I got the eggs away. Everything's good. I was like, all right, cool, man.
Yeah.
So she's definitely on board with that. And Kelly's my wife. Kelly handles we have a bearded dragon for our son. And then we got 2 dogs as well. And one of our dogs, speaking of animals that I can't leave alone or leave with other people, one of our dogs is not only blind, he's had his eyes removed. So, I mean, he's a 10-year-old. We adopted him. He's a rat terrier. He's a super cool dog. And we know how to take care of him. He's fine. But leaving him with somebody else where we're like, all right, you got to open the door this way because he's going to hear it this way. And when you're walking, you got to do this. So anyhow, we got a lot of animals here as well. My wife, Kelly, she works for, she's an admissions counselor at a college. And it was funny. We both work at home here. She came running in one day and she's like, shh. She's like, come here. And I was like, all right. And it was like the president or the chancellor of the small college. And the guy is just ranting about somebody he had to kick out because there was a whole reptile breeding operation going on. Like you would have thought these guys were like packaging, receiving Coke and or whatever else they could have been doing. The guy was like, this whole operation I took down. I was like, what are you, a SWAT guy? Get out of here, But when you said that about the dorm, it reminded me of that story.
Yeah, man. Me and one of my buddies, JaVale McGee. He actually, I think he played for the Suns this year. He's still in the NBA and playing basketball in the NBA. And man, we both had ball python. I got him to get one, and man,
does he still have one?
I don't know if he still has. I haven't asked him. I doubt he still has any reptiles, man. He's just playing basketball now and living the dream.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess if I had a chance, I would Yeah, I'd give a few years to the NBA and hold off.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Jeremy made a comment earlier when you were just saying, because the reptiles are different. When I was saying about I want reptiles to be more normalized, and Jeremy made a comment. He goes, "Not too normal. We still want to be a little weird." Absolutely, I agree with that. Look, I don't smoke. I don't grow plants, and I'm not into that community or that hobby at all. I got no problem with it, whatever. But I had a guest on that. I mean, he's a huge player in that community, and I was interested because 20 years ago, what marijuana worked to normalize, I see analogous to what we're fighting right now. Right. And I think that there's some lessons to take from that. And I think getting out and doing things like the parties like you're doing, or, I probably need to do something in my neighborhood, in my community, and be like, look, I'm not the creepy dude in the garage. Like, this is a legitimate business and what I do. And here's my license. I claim it on taxes. Like, this is my business. Just like you run your lawn care business. This is what I run.
Right.
And so I want to work at that, and I'm trying to get more and more comfortable with it. When you're in social places and people are like, "Oh, what do you do?" Like, I'm trying to get more like the speech down where I'm not stumbling over it. Where I go, "Well, I breed animals. Now I'm a ball python breeder, and I do it with high quality care and cleanliness. And I really love these animals, man. I think it's fantastic, and that needs to be my spiel, not kind of worried or anxious about it. So I'm working on that stuff, but that's really what I meant by normalizing it. Jeremy says the Addams Family Zoo. I can't just tell people to show up at Jeremy's house, but Jeremy has a zoo, man. Uromastyx, crested geckos, a whole rat shed, a second house for ball pythons, a room in that house for Uromastyx, boas. I don't know. And animal tortoises and whatnot outside, iguanas outside. Jeremy's got the zoo, not me, man.
Got a lot. He's got a lot of stuff and a killer collection, for sure.
And he's cool. He's been a very, very good help to me. Ken said, "This is funny. I don't like joking about addiction or anything." Ken says, "This addiction is stronger than weed, though." Yeah, you're right. Let me tell you, weed got nothing on me. I don't have any care for any weed, but this addiction is definitely stronger than that for me. What's up, Living Oddities? Good to see you, man. Yes, chef, to yourself too, man. So Matt, what's next for you? You said the next, 2-3 years is a 12 to 15 clutch kind of thing. But I also heard you say that if you were being honest with yourself, you want to see this as part of a big part of your livelihood one day. Where do you see that changing? Where do you see that timeline working its way along?
I wrote out a 3 to 5 year plan, and hopefully by year 4 or 5, I could get to that point to where I am at least consistently, after expenses, being able to bring in what I make, for the military, and doubling my income basically throughout the year, and then eventually branch off into doing it full time if that's what I want to do. The military is good to me though, so I can't really complain about that. But yeah, I mean, it really just depends. And like I said, the reason I'm stuck on the 12 to 15 is the space thing. For right now, once some things map themselves out, and I can expand this room and take over the whole other side of the garage, then maybe we'll some things to be different. But right now I'm gonna stick with that. And yeah, that's what I'm just trying to produce some of the highest quality animals that I can for me.
Right.
What my example of high quality would be.
Yeah, that's the ticket in the meantime, is figuring out how to. If you can't grow in quantity, you got to grow in quality, and ideally we do both on a steady increase. I guess in a perfect world, maybe not to a point, because no matter how much space we have, there's a finite amount of it.
Right.
And I think you'll find, and you probably already know, but even if replacing income when it's a business is easier to do because of the benefits of having the tax breaks and the tax benefits of having a business. it's not nearly the same hurdle I've found in my own experience as a non-CP. I mean, Mike at Herb Collectors could talk a whole lot more about it than I could, but I've always strived to try and have some side business just because of the perks. When I stumbled into it, when I bought, as a matter of fact, it was this house that I just moved back into. I haven't lived in this house in over 11 years until last year we moved back in, because it allowed us to sell another house to cash that out. But having this rental property allowed for deductions and a business revenue, and it allowed it to be an asset versus a liability.
Right.
And I figured out how to do that with music. I don't make a lot of money on music, but I do make money on music. And then that again, those deductions, it brings our tax bill down, because taxes are such a huge part of everybody's burden. And it's not that I'm not paying taxes, but I'm paying a whole lot less. And now with businesses, things that I would be doing anyhow, I get to deduct the expense of. And again, for anybody, I recommend making sure, partner with a good CPA or a tax professional that understands you and wants to know your goals and that kind of thing. My guy was great when I told him about the animals. He's like, your business is your choice. My job is to help you succeed in that endeavor. He goes, if I wanted to breed animals, I'd do that instead of taxes. Taxes are what I want to do. So I would recommend, and sorry, I get a little bit passionate about this because it's been such a great benefit for me. And again, I don't have to worry about as much of that rat race of, well, here's what I used to make. How am I going to do it here? Well, if my expenses are lower, then what I need to bring in is lower, type of deal. And I'm getting more joy and fulfillment and time with my family, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of people are really worried about what is on PayPal is going to make us claim if we receive $600 or not.
Right.
If you own a ball python, I bet you have more than $600 in expenses. Turn it into a business, right, and then you can have more money for your business and your hobby. Man, I need to get a tax professional and just do a whole episode on that. And it's that'd
be a good episode. For sure.
Well, and it's the same thing with guitars. I mean, I don't have as many guitars as I have snakes, but there was a long time where I had more guitars than snakes, and that's the same kind of thing. Beast Morph says, does he have you depreciating animals? No, he does not. I set my collection up on a cost of goods inventory system, so I don't get the deduction until I sell I don't get the deduction until there's revenue coming in to cover that deduction. So, for example, in my year last year, I didn't have enough revenue to cover all of my deductions. So if I spent hypothetically $7,000 on snakes last year, but I only did $4,500 in revenue, I can't deduct more than what my revenue was. So instead of deducting those expenses on the front, when I sell them is when I apply a cost of goods, and that's when I'll get the deduction for the expense in the future when I know I have a revenue to cover it. So that's what worked for me. Your tax professional with whoever you work with will talk you through what makes most sense on that, Beast Morphs. Listen, thanks, Pikeline, for stopping in, man. I didn't know you were in the audience, man. Guys, check out Pikeline. He has killer stuff. I stumbled onto him and I think on Key's show on Friday nights. He's got fantastic stuff. Pikeline, we got to hang out one night, man. Seriously, I'll get in touch with you. But thanks for saying hey tonight.
Yeah, he's got major stuff. Major.
Yeah, he does. He does. So, well, listen, I always say I want to keep the show fresh and the content fresh. Let's leave it there for tonight, Matt, so that we got stuff to cover in the future. Maybe later on this year, after we both get through our clutches, we'll compare notes. We both had 2 clutches last year. We're both hoping for, 10, 11, 12. I hope you get every one of them this year. And, if you ever get worn out one day of cleaning those hatchlings, text me. I'll commiserate with you that we'll both be exhausted from all the work that we're putting in, man. But I want to say thank you for being here. It's been a joy hanging out with you. I really, really wish you the best. Thanks for coming on my show tonight, man.
Yeah, man, I greatly appreciate you having us on, man. It's been amazing, just chatting with you and seeing everybody's comments. And yeah, man, I wish you the best this year, man. Hopefully, all your clutches come that you want to come, man, because, we're both in this. We in this together. I mean, I love this hobby, man. I love everybody I've come in contact with in this hobby.
I gotta say, man, I'm gonna guess, just maybe making a leap that I shouldn't make a leap here, but I'm gonna guess we come from a little bit of different cultural background. But there's I come from when I was growing up, I wasn't the cool kid. I wasn't in the clique and all that. And that's when punk rock made so much sense to me. It was like a place where everybody else could go. And there were black guys, white guys, straight, gay, all of us were just having fun at loud rock and roll shows. And I feel like that's the ball python reptile community these days, man. It's great. It's absolutely fantastic. And I love it for that. I love the people in it. And I got to say, the audience that for some reason, the audience that comes to my shows, everybody says hey to each other. Most people know each other by name. Speaking of, I know Ken by name. Ken, I didn't know you were going to Daytona. I will see you there, my friend. I'm excited for that. So, yeah, just the people that we meet is just fantastic. I absolutely love it. And I've not been disappointed tonight either, for sure. So, thanks for being here. Everybody, check out Big E at Ebony and Ivory Reptiles. Links are down below on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Links are below. You can check out Matt LaGrone on Facebook if you want to check him out there. Their YouTube channel is growing. Give them the support there. Let's get them up over. What's the next big hurdle? 500 subscribers for you?
500 is the next hurdle, man. Now, I'm hopefully we can hit it by December, by the end of the year.
By the end of the year, you're going to get to 1,000 by the end of the year, bro. Absolutely. No, I'm serious, man. No, we'll get you to 500 by August. Well, by September, I want you 500. That's gotta go.
I'm push. That might mean I got to make more than one video a week.
No, just keep being consistent. And you already are getting better and more confident. You're going to get better and better at what you do. You're going to find little tweaks that you like. You're going to find the tribe out there, as they say on YouTube. So, hey, look, I appreciate it. Send my best to Kendra. I hope next time maybe she can join for a little bit. And look, you guys are always welcome to hang out, and I hope that our paths cross again. I look forward to it, man.
For sure, man. Look forward to seeing you again, boss.
All right, Matt. Stick around for just a second. Everybody, Thank you all very, very much. Ty Park next week. Thursday, a new video will be out on the Properroyals channel. Sunday, a new video will be out. And again, Ty Park's coming on the show next week. I'm excited for it. Check out Matt at Ebony and Ivory. I'm going to hit the music. Thank you all for tuning in. Oh, Justin, Joe, and Phil. Guys, thank you. Super kind, unbelievably kind. The snakes, thank you. You're going to help me feed some ball pythons. Cheers to you guys. See y'all next week.